Morning. It's Tuesday morning. A little bit of rain north of Central California, up around Mount Shasta, Crescent City, over an inch of rain. Crescent City got an inch and a half of rain. Huayra Rica got a quarter of an inch. Mount Shasta got a little bit of snow. I'll see if I can pick it up here. Let's see if I can grab the last hour. Beautiful sky up there right now. You see a little bit of everything. There's the top of the mountain. Temperatures today in Mount Shasta are going to just be in the 50s. A little bit of snow. You can just see it. So snow falling, top of Mount Shasta. Awesome lenticular clouds over Mount Shasta this morning as well. And a little bit of fog in the valley. And as I mentioned, the camera's moving a little slow. This is Crescent City. And we are actually looking out towards Crescent City. So you can see the river basin here, some fog, and Crescent City over an inch and a half of rain. So in some places, 1.75 inches. My camera's not really cooking today. Let's see. We'll make it cook on our own. And you can kind of see out towards we're looking basically due west. And it's clearing. But there's another system out behind this that has the potential to bring more rain. That will bring more rain, quite frankly. This is a live camera shot. This is Huayra Rica. And let's see if we can get this one to roll. For some reason my cameras are not rolling awesomely today, but there's the valley fog down in the valley, obviously. Radiation fog, that is a wintertime shot. Now you're looking essentially towards the north from Huayra Rica up into the Oregon, Mount McLaughlin area. I would guess that might be Mount McLaughlin there in the foreground. These are some of the rainfall totals. So if you were fortunate enough to get some rain last night, we'll see who did and who didn't. The haves and the have-nots, 1.5 inches up around Crescent City. That's significant. All of this area. And again, for fire, there's some big fires burning up in these zones. And those fires are getting a heck of a break. So if we push a little bit this way, we can see Redding came in at, let's see what Redding got. Redding got just about 1/4 inch. Red Bluff shows nothing, 0.07. So the valley really favored the mountainous areas or the hilly locations of the North Bay. And then we'll go all the way down. There's Clear Lake. There's Lake Berryessa. There's San Francisco Bay. To the east, let me pull out a little bit. You can see the rain showers. Not quite as prolific, but 1/4 inch up around Butte County, up around Paradise, up around Colusa, a few scattered showers. So not bad for this time of year. And when you're thinking about, which we're thinking about, fire danger, this is an awesome spectacle, if you will. Rainfall pretty hit and miss around San Francisco Bay Area. Mount Tamalpais, I want to say those are anomalous, but they're right next to each other. So the inch and 1/4 up the top. So that's kind of just straight up mechanical lifting. The true rainfall numbers out there, maybe 0.2 inches. San Francisco, 200ths. And then we'll go as far south as we can. Santa Cruz Mountains, 0.2. Again, very helpful for fire. And then much less as you went further south. So, right? And here comes round 2. Next weather system. This is last weather system going through. This is next weather system coming on. And already you can look at it and go, well, whoops, you can see that it's centered or favoring more of the north. Right, it's more going to be in here for rainfall, and we'll see that in the model output or in what we're going to look at. So right now we'll go to the models. Here's the 500 millibar vorticity. Hope you're getting used to looking at this. It's a good one, right? Because it just gives you I'll push it through. That just gives you the flow, okay? And circled is us, a broad area. I try to make it as try to cover all of us north to South California. But you can see, this is instability. This is upper atmosphere driving the potential for weather. So yesterday we looked at it and we saw, there's all sorts of, like even today, there's all sorts of reds and yellows over us. But if you don't, reds and yellows would represent instability, lift, not mechanical lifting, but actually atmospheric lifting, where the atmosphere above is spreading out and the air is rising, creating vorticity. Positive vorticity rotates counterclockwise and up. Negative vorticity and VA rotates clockwise and down. In this case, this would be PVA, positive vorticity advection. And that's what was happening. That's what's happening today and happening again tonight and tomorrow. So there's more rain in the forecast. I guess what I'm getting at is if you don't got the fuel, which we didn't really have a lot of south of San Francisco yesterday, that PVA just goes over and drops a few light scattered showers. It needs moisture to work with. A dry atmosphere, it's hard to get much out of. And this is today, right there. You see the colors. And then you see, what's that? That's this afternoon. So today looks kind of like a nice day. And then tonight and tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, tonight, let's see. So tonight would be, this is Thursday morning here. So let's go tonight right there. This afternoon. Looks nice, kind of under a little bit of a ridge. And then right here, that's Thursday afternoon. So Thursday afternoon looks, right? We'll see what the models do. This is just sort of positioning the jets. So saying there's more energy there, that's an interesting system, sort of an interesting inside retrograding slider is what you would call that. That would be interesting for snowfall because it's coming off the plate or off the continent, so it's pretty cool. So we'll see. Right. So basically, all this is telling me right now is I'm not taking it too verbatim. I'm just going, okay, look, yeah, there's stuff in our path or in the next couple of days. So here is the North American model, and this will show us what it thinks for today. Here we are at this afternoon. Let's go all the way to the afternoon. So that footprint looks so much like the footprint that we just got through with, right? With most of the rain falling up in this region, which would make sense because that's where the strongest PVA, positive vorticity advection, is. So it's going to squeeze out as much moisture as it can from the available moisture. And that's what this model's picking up on. And so here's Wednesday. So let's see. So this is this afternoon. This is tonight and tomorrow morning. So, right, maybe a little bit of something. This afternoon looks not bad. And then tonight and tomorrow morning, probably our best chance for more of what we just saw, which is rain north of Marin County. And then just kind of winding down. And then this Tahoe thing here, that's on Friday morning. And again, it makes sense because there's that instability or that PVA, positive vorticity advection, in the area, really right through Friday and Saturday. So here is the accumulation. So this is just going to take into account between starting now at about 0 and going through the next few days, how much rain will actually fall in these areas. And this is through Friday morning. 1,300s in Marin County, 1/4 of an inch. Up at Cape Mendocino, Crescent City, 1/2 of an inch, and then a little bit more. So you sort of see that filling in. I know. At that point, you lose track of it. But that's interesting out there, isn't it? But this is through October 16th. So you see, it's not real pointed, but it definitely shows rain in our area right through this weekend at some point, at some iteration. Southern California, you get in on it somewhere around Friday when some of that southern moisture moves in. But overall, pretty dry for you guys. Stays pretty moist in Northern California through the week. Here is Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe today is going to just make about 58 degrees. Why are you guys doing this to me? Beautiful. This is South Bliss camera. Yeah, no, this is Heavenly Valley. That's beautiful. So pretty. This time of year, fall, right? Like Tahoe. So this is this morning. Not much instability. I'd expect a few scattered showers up there. This is a camera that we don't use a lot. This is Pasadena, down below. And air quality looks good. A little bit of foggy clouds. I didn't realize Pasadena was so big. It's a pretty good size. Yeah. I don't have any good nuggets on Pasadena, really, other than it's an interesting community in terms of people. I've met a lot of people from Pasadena. Pretty interesting crowd. A lot of kind of old, old regional money, old state money, Boswells and those guys kind of all settled here. The big farmers in the Central Valley kind of had their big homes there. This is Mount Tamalpais. So Mount Tam did get a little bit of rain last night. Remember, well, according to Mount Tam, rainfall, we saw 1.25 inches. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't, nothing around it matched up. But then watch if this works. Let's see. You'll see this thing that's just squeezing out rain. So this is in the last couple of hours. Right. So it's just, even though there's no dynamics except from cloud cover, the mechanical lifting of that mountain is pushing precipitation. So that, right? I mean, if I had to look at the radar is not going to show anything over Mount Tam. Let's do it. Take a look at the radar. Boom. And we'll go close here. We'll grab the Mux camera. So, yeah, no. Whoops. Well, guess who was wrong there? Okay, well, that's why we checked our radar. So it does show a little bit of something over Mount Tam. So that would explain. This is of 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah, there's a little bit of something everywhere in there. Geez, Bill, check the radar. Let's go in here and check a look where that is. That's Napa Valley, Yountville, a few scattered showers. Huh. I think that, not bad. Not bad at all. San Rafael, Richmond Bridge. Richmond, San Rafael, or San Rafael, Richmond? San Rafael, I think it's Richmond, San Rafael. I used to on TV, I'd get it backwards and people get bummed. I was like, I mean, I didn't want to get it backwards. Okay, so that's pretty good. A little bit of rainfall. All right. Happy about that. Let's move on then. So we've uncovered that mystery. These are we did weather. So this week's going to be kind of nice. Don't change your plans unless you are north tonight and tomorrow morning. If you're north of Marin County, up in the Redding area, you're going to get a few scattered showers. It's going to be kind of same old, same old. What we've been having is what we're going to see. The rain line's going to stay north. Rain showers could get up over a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, or they could stay below 1/10 of an inch, which is pretty much what we've seen. That's not an awesome forecast, but it's not an easy forecast because you don't really have a clear, we get a frontal system. These are the highest forecasts for today. Pretty mild, which is awesome for fire danger and air quality. Not even going to show you watchduty.org because there's no need to. I mean, the fires in the state are squished right now. There's a couple areas that are hot, but this is going to help. Even down in the desert, down by Kingman, 95 degrees Thermal Springs, Palm Springs, those areas. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. It's the same deal. And so this whole week we hover. So the hot spots in the Central Valley, like Bakersfield, low 80s next couple of days, will stay there. And then in the North Valley, Chico and Red Bluff and Sacramento, mid and low 70s, upper 60s. Okay. Here is a map that I didn't position well. This is showing that I'm not really talking about the hurricane because that was an awesome hurricane. Most of what we're seeing offshore here is surf concerns, wind concerns because of the swell being put up. The track of those hurricanes is heading towards kind of offshore to the east. For the Caymans, unfortunately for them, but for the continental United States, not too bad. Some wind advisories here, some wind advisories up on the north coast. And then this is a 6 to 10 day outlook. This starts on October 5th. So here we are, September 30th. So this is next, the 5th through the 9th, essentially, 6 to 10 day. And just when you're looking down the road. So if you're planning stuff, it's going to be a little below average rain and temperature as we go into that first week of October. Earthquakes. I like that graphic a lot. It actually updates live. It's hard to use, though. It's not super usable, except it's super cool, right? And then the boxes, these are global earthquakes. In the boxes, the white is the most recent, the one down lowest. Oh, is that right? No, got it wrong. The white's the most recent, yeah, 6.9. And then the further, the colors get darker as you go deeper down. So we'll go to the actual earthquake stuff. And then this is the last 24 hours of 2.5s or plus, 2.5 magnitude or plus. And we had a little earthquake in Johannesburg, California. Shallow is a 3.1. I don't know where Johannesburg is. But this is the last 24 hours. And these are over 2.5s. These are, that's a lot of earthquakes. So really just showing you those, again, to go, okay, yeah, we're all connected. We're all, right, Gaia, right? We really are all connected. And this map does the same thing. This is surf, but it could be weather because the swell comes out of the from the atmosphere, from the winds. This is southern hemisphere swell, right? We're going into winter. They're going into summer, and their activity is starting to die down, and our activity is starting to light up. You see pretty minimal or moderate swell. You see what those hurricanes produce on the East Coast. Check that out. So it's a hurricane. It's wind, which is essentially swell, and you can see it really just work its way up into up into Europe. Swell really spreads out, doesn't it? Huh. That's interesting. I've never really noticed that. Like this is an interesting corridor right up through Greenland to get swell in there. Wow. Because you need fetch, right? So these are waves, but you need a big distance of ocean to blow across. It's one of the reasons southern hemisphere. This is why California gets such awesome surf, because you've got a fetch from Japan to here over 2,000 miles of just wide-ass open ocean with the wind can blow, and you see the wind blowing across it. And you have, look at the fetch you get down here, fetch distance, right? You see a couple, 3,000 miles without hitting anything. And then when we get our southern hemi swells, which is, this is the time of year we could start to see some of those hurricanes spinning off, but stuff even further from the south in our summer, those swells are carrying 3,000 to 4,000 miles of fetch too. So that's why the swells get so big. And so it's not hard to find where the biggest waves are. You just find the largest amount of fetch. And here's Ocean Beach, a little bigger today. It looks like it is up to about 4 or 5 foot. This is that rain shaft that we found up on Mount Tamalpais. Mm-hmm. I know that because I was looking at it earlier. So it is scattered showers out there. It is raining up there. The beach has got a little more swell. It's got a little more activity to it. Waves are actually, the sandbars look like they're showing better because the swell's bigger, but it's a little bit jumbled up. So great highway there, Ocean Beach. Today San Francisco just goes 66 degrees. This is Malibu. It's a good day at Malibu. I was looking at this earlier. That inside wave is really fun sometimes, believe it or not. But that's a good swell. Malibu looks like it's 3 to 4. And you can see it's breaking off the point, right? So see the shallow water here. This guy's behind it. Should grab that. Like that guy should have gone, because that's going to be fine, right? This guy's a little further over. So yeah, he'll figure it out. But that's right there. That's the right spot where that guy is right there. Missed it. Got it. That's why people surf longer boards, because you can maneuver into position more quickly. And once you're on, you can make the sections. It's tough because most people now, point breaks, have switched to longboards. And, it's cool. But it's also, if you still favor a shorter board, which I try to, it makes it hard to get waves. It really does. Longboard I can catch anywhere. You can catch any wave you want, really. Especially a big, an 8, 9, 10 footer. The Eagles, I've heard they've been back. I haven't seen them, but we'll keep an eye out for them over the next couple of days. And then this is Venice Beach today. Venice, what's Venice going to be? Going to be 70 degrees today. Looks a little cooler out there this morning. Venice Beach, it's really interesting. I love how they keep the grass, right? Like they must have to water the hell out of that grass. Huh. I got rid of my grass. I got rid of it only because I felt, this is San Diego, Surf and Sand Hotel. Free advertisement for them. Some folks surfing down in the corner earlier. I don't see them now. There they are, right there. They're in the rip current. I don't know if you can see them. That's a pretty good rip. You can see how it's all jumbled up. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I was thinking we got involved in that rip current. You can tell the rip current. See how smooth it is here, and then see just how it's textured. The water, the sea surface is textured. Let's see if I can get this right. That's a rip right there. It's a little bit of everything, but it's basically the water comes in, and then it comes out through here. That's what makes it rip. So the incoming, and the water has to go somewhere. It can't go over the hotel, so it rips its way back out. And when you're surfing, that rip's moving, so it's going to move in a minute. There's a guy right there surfing. So yeah, there you go. What else we got here? I think I got more stuff, and then we'll get moving on. Okay, this is Lake Michigan. Right now it's 72 degrees, Lake Michigan. They surf out there. That's pretty. Huh, 72 degrees. I wonder who the dude is at 12 o'clock who gets to go swimming because they're not in school, right? Who is that? Who gets to go swimming at 12 o'clock at Grand Haven, Michigan? That's what time it is local there. It's 12:13 on a Tuesday. That's pretty awesome. Someone wins. This is Wrigley Field. Okay, it looks like they might have a ball game today. Flags out or maybe not. Never been to Wrigley Field, but apparently you got to do that before you die back in Michigan. That guy's getting ready for snow. And then Sand Cay Beach, Florida, Longboat Key. Huh. All right. I think that's it. I think we covered it all. And this is Puerto Rico. All right. Got the weather figured out. Have a good day. I think the thing to watch will be tonight, tomorrow morning. Then again, Wednesday night, maybe a little into Thursday morning. And then Friday, that thing in Lake Tahoe. But again, none of this, I'm not altering my plans in any way. The only thing I would change is if I was north of Marin County, certainly tonight and tomorrow morning, I would, if I'm painting or doing something like that. But if I was just like bird watching, I'd go. I wouldn't change a thing. Okay, take care.